The game never stops, and neither do we. Welcome to the SDH Network. We're always around the corner from everywhere. Morning Espresso, it's brought to you by Oglethorpe University, Atlanta's premier undergraduate learning experience and soccer powerhouse. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jason Longshore. Welcome in. This is your Morning Espresso, getting you caught up on everything happening around the soccer world before your day really gets going. We'll start over in Europe, where one of the most remarkable Champions League stories in recent memory unfolded last night. Bodo Glimt, they are through to the round of 16 in the UEFA Champions League, and they didn't just sneak through. It wasn't luck. It wasn't a penalty shootout. They eliminated Internazionale comfortably over two legs, winning both matches. This is a club from Bodo, Norway. It's a town of about 40,000 people sitting just above the Arctic Circle. Population small enough for everyone in Bodo to fit inside the San Siro. That makes what happened even more incredible because they went to Milan and finished the job against last season's Champions League finalists. They didn't just go in and sit and hope and cross their fingers and defend. They won the match. They won the first leg 3-1 in Norway. They pushed the aggregate lead all the way to 5-1 before Internazionale managed a late consolation goal. This wasn't a lucky win. This was structure. This was belief. This was a football identity that has been building for years. What makes it even more impressive is the fact that the Norwegian league season hasn't even started yet. They've still got 2 more weeks. So Bodo Glimt knocked out one of Europe's elite teams while effectively still in preseason. Their rise, it hasn't come with massive spending or a billionaire backing them. It's been building a system. The manager, Kjetil Knutsen, he has built a system based on intensity, on recruitment focused on very specific player traits, even mental performance work led by a former fighter pilot helping shape the team's culture. Upsets happen in the Champions League. This one feels different. Europe's so-called smaller leagues are pushing closer to the center of the conversation. Now, it's one team out of these smaller leagues that is pushing there, so there's still a gap. But it's impressive that you're starting to see these sorts of things happen. Bodo Glimt has beaten 4 teams from Europe's top 5 leagues for the first time, 4 teams in a row, for the first time in a long time. I think Ajax back in the 70s is the last outside of the top 4 leagues to do that. Now everyone waits to see who gets them next. It's either going to be Sporting Lisbon or it will be a rematch with Manchester City, who Bodo Glimt beat at home in Norway not that long ago. So looking forward to that. Let's stay in Champions League. Kylian Mbappé, news out this morning that he will miss the second leg of their knockout round matchup with Benfica. He was left out of the squad. He's managing discomfort in his left knee. It's been lingering for months now. Madrid's medical staff clearly decided this wasn't a risk worth taking, maybe with some prodding from the French national team staff as well. Just saying, World Cup's just around the corner. Mbappe's been central to Madrid's season. He's scored heavily in La Liga and in Europe, but the bigger picture does matter here. League matches are coming quickly. Deeper Champions League rounds should be ahead. Protecting him now may be the smarter long-term move. Madrid has a 1-0 lead coming into the Santiago Bernabeu from the first leg. They should be okay today. Remember Gianluca Prestiani, the Benfica player who has been accused of racially abusing Vinicius Jr. He is provisionally suspended for this match. Benfica will also be without Jose Mourinho on the touchline. I'm intrigued by how this game goes in terms of the emotions of it. It will be very, very interesting. That's a big one later this afternoon. All right, speaking of a big one, we got to go check in on our old friend John Textor. This just continues to develop. Private investment firm Ares Management, who loaned him upwards of $400 million to buy Olympique Lyon, they are now wanting their money back. They are attempting to recover, and I think now it's in the $200+ million range of what's left over that they need to be paid back on. The relationship between Textor and Ares has deteriorated significantly. Ares has already moved to remove Textor as a director of Eagle Football Holdings, the company that he launched. That news came out yesterday that is done legally, and it was retroactive to late January. He is strongly disputing that and trying to fight it, but I don't really know what else he can do at this point. I mean, at the center of all of this, I mean, this is Eagle football with Lyon, with Botafogo, who we've talked plenty about, with clubs in multiple places. Eagle has reportedly posted major financial losses. The creditors are starting to push for tighter control. Textor is still trying to find new financing to replace Aries management, maintain his influence, but I don't know where he's going to find it from. He did find a little bit of money to get into Botafogo, but it's looking like in Brazil there's starting to be a growing push for either Aries or people connected to Aries to get Textor out of control at Botafogo. So Textor has no control at Molenbeek now. He has no control at Lyon now. He still has control at Botafogo because of Brazilian legal situation and Brazilian law in terms of the operating of clubs. He's still the one listed there, not Eagle, and they can't push him out yet, but there's talk about how they can find a way to do it. That's how he was able to go do another loan with another funder to try to get in, and it sounds like part of that is to complicate this whole process. So this is going to be fascinating. Lyon is having a good season. They have gotten away. I mean, they were supposed to be relegated to start the season, and they were recently on a 13-game winning streak. They've done well in Europe. This is fascinating because Eagle football as a whole is in a little bit of a precarious situation. Botafogo is in a much more precarious situation. Molenbeek is in an extremely precarious situation, and John Textor himself, in his control of this entity, is in an extremely precarious situation. We'll see how this continues to go. Expect more lawyers, expect more lawsuits, expect more loans, and expect more chaos. Let's go to Buenos Aires. River Plate, they are preparing for life after Marcelo Gallardo. He decided to step down. His last match in charge of River will be on Thursday against Banfield. Replacing him, it's not just hiring another coach, it's replacing an era. Early reports suggest that Eduardo Chacho Caldet is emerging as the leading candidate, club leadership evaluating a short list that also includes Hernan Crespo. River wants somebody who understands the club. They understand the institution. They can re-energize a squad that is currently under heavy scrutiny from supporters. Negotiations are expected to accelerate once Gallardo officially departs. According to reports, Caldet didn't even want to talk to River until Gallardo was out the door because of his respect for him. I would assume the same as with Crespo. Both are under contract at the moment. Caldet's contract ends in the summer. Whoever takes over is going to have to deal with some pretty big expectations at one of South America's leading clubs. Let's bring it back to the domestic focus. CBS Sports, they have extended their agreement with Concacaf to remain the exclusive English-language U.S. broadcaster for all Concacaf women's competitions through the 2029-2030 season. That includes World Cup qualifying for the next cycle, the W Gold Cup, Nations League, and the W Champions Cup, with matches primarily streaming on Paramount+. San Diego FC, they rewarded sporting director Tyler Heaps with a multi-year extension after a remarkable first year that saw the club finish first in the Western Conference and immediately become an MLS contender. They're into the next round of the CONCACAF Champions Cup as well. They started year 2 with a big win. Tyler Heaps has done an amazing job in San Diego, and he's going to continue to do that job for quite a while. LAFC, they moved comfortably into the CONCACAF Champions Cup round of 16. They finished off Real España 7-1 on aggregate. Rotated the squad a little bit, although Denny Boanga and Sonny started in this one. But very comfortable game, played at a little bit slower pace for LAFC. They win 1-0 on the night. Atletico Ottawa, their continental debut ended in Music City. Nashville get the win. They advance on, so Ottawa will have to get ready for the upcoming Canadian Premier League season. Nashville continues their big start to 2026, and they get ready for the round of 16 matchup in CONCACAF against Inter Miami. Another update on the big MLS rumor of the moment, Antoine Griezmann to Orlando City. Diego Simeone spoke about it yesterday after Atleti advanced in Champions League. It said really it's up to Griezmann what he wants to do, and he just wants the best for him. Griezmann wasn't really playing a lot earlier this year. He is playing a good bit now. Is he going to stick around to see out the Champions League campaign, the Copa del Rey chase, or is he going to leave before the MLS incoming transfer window closes in about a month's time? I don't know, and I wonder if the Champions League run is going to be what decides it. So stay tuned. It sounds like Orlando is pretty aggressive, and it sounds like Griezmann wants to go to Orlando. It's just the timing of it at this point. The refill. Grab yourself another cup. Let's go to Morocco. This is really confusing, and I don't think anybody knows exactly what's going on. The coaching situation for the national team, it's still unsettled. The Moroccan Federation has publicly denied that Walid Regragui is out of the job. They've publicly denied it twice now, but there are also reports right next to those saying that former Barcelona manager Xavi has emerged as a preferred replacement. I don't know if he wants to take it right now or if he wants to take it after the cycle. I don't know if Regragui is going to coach the team to the World Cup and then leave. Nobody seems to know, and this has been dragging on for weeks now. Kind of a problem if you're Morocco and you're getting ready for a World Cup. I don't know where the hang-up is at this point. In Brazil tonight, Palmeiras and Fluminense meet in an early heavyweight matchup in the Brasileiro. Both sides enter unbeaten with 7 points through 3 matches, 2 wins and a draw. This is one of the first major measuring stick games in Brazil this season. In Mexico, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum addressed World Cup security concerns following recent violence. She stated that the country will provide full guarantees to visiting teams and supporters ahead of the 2026 tournament. Some federations continue monitoring the situation closely, including the ones that will be playing in the FIFA Interconfederational playoffs in Guadalajara in about a month's time. There's been comments out of Jamaica and DR Congo about their concerns. FIFA is saying everything will be fine. I don't know if anybody actually knows that at the moment, but nothing is changing in terms of hosting games as of yet. SDH AM, it's live at 9:05 this morning. John Nelson hosting. He'll be joined by Chicago radio commentator Max Anderson, WESH TV's Mike Gramajo in Orlando. They're going to break down Week 1 in MLS, Week 2 look ahead, and he's going to talk about Champions League and Concacaf news from around the game. If you missed it yesterday, check out our latest Training Ground notebook featuring Atlanta United goalkeeper Lucas Hoyos and midfielder Cooper Sanchez as the Five Stripes continue building that identity, working to become protagonists. I'm so glad Cooper used the word protagonist. I was very excited when he said it. Interesting comments from both. And like I said last night on Atlanta Soccer Tonight, which you can check out that whole show with myself and Madison Cruz on Off the Woodwork, the podcast series from 92.9 The Game. I feel a little bit better about Atlanta's loss. I don't like the loss, but I feel better about the performance and maybe the direction of things with a couple of days removed from it. I feel like it was a better performance than maybe I felt on the night because I was frustrated that it got away from the team. I think they were a little bit better through the 90 than maybe we give them credit for. They were definitely better through the 60 than we give them credit for, and it just got away at the end. Can you continue to build? We're going to find out on Saturday in San Jose, California, as the Earthquakes host Atlanta United. Wild night last night in Georgia high school soccer as well. A whole bunch of upsets. Wesleyan, they stunned top-ranked Berkmar in penalties after a 2-2 draw. Berkmar was ranked number 1 in 6A boys. Collins Hill, they beat the number 2 team in 6A boys, Peachtree Ridge. In 5A, both top teams fell as well. McIntosh lost at home to East Coweta. Pope lost 4-0 on the road at Walton. Dalton stay dominant. They beat Walton last week. They continue to stay dominant and undefeated. 8-0 win over Coahulla Creek to stay unbeaten. On the girls' side, West Forsyth, they won. They're the top team in 6A. They won 10-0 over West Hall. And defending state champions in 3A, Oconee County, they earned a tight 1-0 win on the road over Clark Central. Go check out scoreboard.com. That's scorbord.com for the first round of coaches poll rankings for the 2026 season, although you had a bunch of upsets last night, so I think those polls are going to look really different next week. So from an Arctic Circle giant killing in Champions League to ownership battles in France and Brazil to coaching transitions to early season statements across Georgia high school soccer, across Major League Soccer, across CONCACAF, The global game is already moving extremely fast in 2026. Season is still young in some places. The season is getting towards its conclusion in others. The storylines are everywhere. They're not slowing down anytime soon. So that means we're going to have plenty to talk about on Morning Espresso. I will dial up another edition for you tomorrow, and I will see you in your inboxes if you're a newsletter subscriber, or I will see you in your podcast feed tomorrow morning for a new edition of Morning Espresso.